Alright guys, to kick it off, we have a huge amount of news to cover in this video, having to do with the 4th anniversary, which apparently somehow is not over yet, and then the hot season or the summer recruits that are about to start. I don't know. It's like they're doing summer and the 4th anniversary all at once. It's kind of interesting, but nonetheless, 4th anniversary not completely over. We do have one more character on the way. So to start off with, we have the hot season login bonus coming up. We have a login bonus part 1 and then a login bonus part 2. Part 1 will be available starting June 21st and go until July 4th. If you log in for 7 days between that time frame, you will get the following rewards. So on day 1, you'll get 50 stamina. Day 2, you'll get 20 hero gems. Day 3, you will get 200,000 coins. Day 4, you'll get a super gadget. Day 5, you'll get 100 more stamina. Day 6, you will get a top hero device. And day 7, you will get 50 hero gems. Decent rewards. I mean, altogether, it's what, 70 hero gems? So I'll take the 70 hero gems and then 150 stamina. I would say those are the best things there. And then we have a hot season login bonus number 2. For that one, it is going to start on June 28th, so right after the other one ends, and go until, actually not right after the other one ends. It's going to start on June 28th though, and go until July 11th. So the first one was June 21st to July 4th. This second one is going to be June 28th to July 11th. And on day 1, you can get 10 HP flakes. Day 2, you can get 20 hero gems. Day 3, you can get 10 power protein. Day 4, you can get a top hero device. Day 5, you can get 10 speed jelly. Day 6, you can get a super gadget. And day 7, you will get 50 more hero gems. So 70 hero gems in total from this one. So 140 hero gems there just for logging in for the 7 days during that time period. That is, you know, not the most crazy thing we've seen, but not the worst. It's still decent. So I'll take any free hero gems I can get at this point. Honestly, I think most people feel the same. Additionally, we are going to get a new background in the game. A lot of times they put in these assets though for backgrounds and then we never see them actually come to the game. So we'll see. But it would be nice to have this be on the home screen. This looks really, really sick. So they could give this out through a mission or something like that. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely I think this one would be cool to see in the game. And then this is some big news going forward with future recruits, all limited and impact fest recruits. It seems like it doesn't seem like it's going to be general pool recruits, but we'll have to see. Maybe it will, but so far based on the wording, it doesn't seem like it. Pity will be reduced from 300 to 200. So Ruler of the Edge, Ochaco Uraraka, is coming out tomorrow. As of recording this, it is the 19th. She is actually coming out on the 20th. And so on that banner, when she comes out, it is a step up banner. It will be reduced pity from 300 to 200. So same thing for Jiro, it should be also reduced pity. Any limited banner should be reduced pity, which I do believe for Jiro it is. Let me double check here. Yeah, reduced pity for Jiro as well. So reduced pity on the Uraraka banner and on the Jiro banner. So just to show you guys, reduced pity there. And it should be on most Impact Fest banners moving forward that we are getting that reduced pity. So before it was 300, now it's to 200 after pity. So, or after the reduction, which is, that is for the character. It says the character and the memory. So that'll be nice. We've been asking for this for a while, so it's nice to see that they're finally doing this. Now, if they could just listen on us asking for content in the game, and I would be a happy boy. Or revamp the content that's already there. Revamp Ultra Arena, revamp USJ, make USJ infinite, like climbing, not just 5 levels. I digress. I've said this so many times. You guys are probably getting tired of it, so I'm going to continue. All right, so looking at all of this stuff here, let's start with the gift box items. So coming up, 60 hero gems if you log in after the maintenance that just took place. You have until the 27th to obtain those. Same thing with the 50 stamina there. And then we get 100 hero gems. We prepared a present as a token of our appreciation to all players who take part in the 4th anniversary celebrations. We hope you continue to enjoy everything the 4th anniversary has to offer. That is going to be from the 20th until the 6th of next month. And then another 100 hero gems, a present for all players who take place in the 4th anniversary. This one's going to be on the 21st. Then another 100 hero gems, a gift to commemorate the Kohei Horikoshi My Hero Academia original art exhibition, also on the 21st. And then on the 22nd, another 100 hero gems for playing the game, basically. That is 400 hero gems for free. That is absolutely huge. That is almost a multi they just gave you for free, plus another 60 right there. So that is one of the best things I've seen from the devs in a while. That is massive. Okay, so free to play light spenders, that is going to make you very, very happy. That makes me happy, and I spend money on the game, right? So that's awesome. We also want to pay attention to the raid up campaigns. All these other ones really don't matter that much, like hero based dispatch. The ones that do matter, say it every single video, going to be the main quest ones, right? So you're looking for the main quest, normal and hard, the ×5 drop rates, because that is what's going to allow you to get to board 13 on your character ability board faster. So make sure you save your stamina, take advantage of these weekends. It's always on the weekends. So 21st through 22nd, you're going to have a ×5 drop rate, and that is going to be the last one for a while, it looks like. And then we get on the 28th through the 29th, you're going to get a ×3 drop rate. So coming up this weekend, basically take advantage of the ×5 drop rates, because you won't have one until probably after Jiro releases, and then we'll get one for Jiro. Okay, so after that, events coming up. Don't forget Club Festival is coming up on the 24th, and that'll go until the 30th. Keep in mind, people always miss the first day of Club Festival, because technically for global it comes out the day before. It says right there, it comes out on the 23rd, comes out at 10 p.m. that night. You have 12 hours, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be specific. You have 12 hours to complete day one, as opposed to the normal 24 hours that you get on all the other days. So don't miss day one of Club Festival. Make sure you're in a club to be able to participate in this. It is the best content in the game. Really good rewards. I think it is the funnest content in the game. So definitely make sure you're in a club so you can participate in that. We of course have the new event for Jiro. No new event, interestingly enough, for Uraraka though. And then a climax battle rerun of All For One coming out at the same time as Jiro's banner on the 1st, which makes sense because he's red and Jiro is blue. And then we have all of these banners coming up. So the first banner to come up is going to be the Uraraka Step Up banner with the Fantasy version 3. Literally looks almost the same as Fantasy version 1, but you know, whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of Fantasy version 3. Anyone who's watched the channel knows that. But even looking at the kit, I did look at her kit and looked at Jiro's. I think I prefer Jiro too, kit wise, but we'll have to see. You never know until you get them in game and try them out. And then we have the JP anniversary, 4th anniversary, special seasons, hot picks recruit number 1 and number 2, and then in between those you have the summer festival at the same time. So we'll talk about all these banners, and if I think anything on these banners is kind of worth summoning for. And then last but not least, on the 1st of July, we are going to have the Step Up banner for Jiro, and it's important to note that they are going to do a maintenance on the 3rd of July, I think it was. So we might have some more stuff coming up for 4th of July. Who knows? We'll have to see, but there is supposed to be a maintenance scheduled for that time. Now going into the banners here. So Uraraka's banner, like I said, it is a step up banner. It is going to go from the 20th, which is tomorrow, okay, until the 5th of July. So you actually have a bit of time to decide if you want to summon on this. So this banner will be running at the same time as Jiro's banner. So if you have one character that you want more than the other, say you want Jiro more than Uraraka, you could wait to summon on this banner. Go in for Jiro first. If you get her, okay, come back and summon on Uraraka. So just keep that in mind. They are going to be running at the same time, so that is nice. And it's just the typical step up. You'll get the pieces, character pieces on step 5 with a UR character guaranteed. Not the UR character, but a UR character. So something to consider. The other thing I want to put out there is they did not put new memories into this banner, which I think is not bad. And if they had put out a new memory, they would have to take off one of these other memories, because I'm so tired of just pulling memories, right? It's so annoying. So at least it's just 2 memories, like a normal banner would be. Normal banner has a UR and SR. This one has 2 URs. So I'm not too upset about that. This is actually okay. I'd rather have no memories come out for Uraraka. So this is good. And reduced pity. So overall, kind of decent for the way they're releasing her. One bad thing is no event alongside her, so no extra hero gems for people. And then we have the JP version 4th anniversary special seasons hot picks recruit number 1. That was a mouthful. This is going to be a 1.5 times rate banner, so an impact vest banner. This is going to start on the 23rd, and it's going to go until the 3rd. And let me just cover the dates on all of these real quick. So this one starts on the 23rd. The summer one starts 2 days later on the 25th. And the JP 4th anniversary recruit number 2 starts on the 27th. So they're all just literally 2 days apart, and they should all overlap. And so all three of these banners will be out at the same time. So you'll have to choose kind of which one you want to summon on. If you do decide to summon on any of these, realistically, you should probably be summoning on the new banners. But if you need these characters, right, let's talk about it. So this banner is insanely good. Like this, I might like this banner more than the new characters. I'm not going to lie to you. Hawks is absolutely goated. Yayorozu is actually goated as well. Both of these characters, insanely good picks. This memory, really good. This memory, decent. Like, I don't think you could get a better rerun. This might be the best rerun banner they've ever done. This is going to be a hard one for people to pass up. Like, this is the banner, guys. I'm telling you right here. This is the banner. If there's any of these banners that you want to summon on, it's probably this one. This one's absolutely freaking insane. Like, that is such a good banner. And there's not a bunch of other random crap mixed in here that's gonna like clutter it up and make it harder to pull the characters you want to pull. Like, this is good. This is one of the best things I've seen. Like, I can't say it enough. That's one of the best banners they've done. Then we have the Revival MHUI Summer Festival. Honestly, old units don't get used, kind of crap. The only reason you would want any of these things here is just because the collection, you want to collect them, right? Maybe you want SR Sue or something like that. Like, that would be the only reason to pull on this banner. Other than that, I do not recommend pulling on this banner if you're looking for like meta characters newer to the game or whatnot, or you're trying to DX characters. These are not the characters to dupe out. These are not the characters to pull for. These are not the memories to pull for. Just trust me, this is not a banner you want to pull on. Out of these two banners right here, I'm choosing this one every single time, 10 out of 10 times. Like, it is that good. And then we have the JP 4th anniversary Hot Picks Recruit number 2. So this one is another really good banner. However, there is a downside to this one. Okay, so unlike this one, both characters are fire. Like, that's absolutely amazing. Not all the characters are good here. So Sue, incredible. The best character here out of the three. I can say that with confidence, okay? Kaminari, a close second. I think Kaminari is actually a pretty decent defensive character. Then you have Jiro. Jiro is absolute booty cheeks, really bad. Okay, if you get Jiro out of the three, like you decide to pull on this banner, you have lost. Okay, you have straight up lost. So if you're able to get one of these two characters, that is very good. So in general, like looking at the three rerun banners, right? This is going to be the banner you want to pull on. This is your number 1 banner. This is going to be your number 2 banner, but there's still a chance to pull something booty cheeks. And this is your, just don't pull on this banner. It's not even number 3. Don't pull on this banner straight up. Okay, but that's just for the rerun banners. Realistically though, you might want to be pulling on the step up banner because step up banners do give you extra rewards, and it is the newest character, and a lot of times the newest characters are really good. But lately they've kind of broken that trend, and some of the newer characters haven't felt as good to me, like still, you know, the celebration characters still, I think, are insanely good to this day. Then next up we have on the Jiro banner, Time to Shine, High Stakes Guard Duty, Step Up. And so this is going to be a limited banner as well. 200 pity, so reduced pity like I mentioned before, just the normal steps, and it is going to feature a new SR memory, a new UR memory, and the character. This one does have an event coming out alongside it, so there is going to be a new event memory as well. We'll go over all the memories, all the characters here in a second, but before we get into Jiro's banner, I want to start with Uraraka, because once again, Uraraka does come out tomorrow. So Ruler of the Edge, Ochaco Uraraka, or Fantasy version 3 is what we have here. The art, I will say the art is pretty cool. I like the art, like what they've done here. However, I will say the costume itself, like it feels like Fantasy Uraraka. It just feels the same. Like there's a few changes, right? It's different, but I don't know. It feels too similar to me. I don't like how similar it looks. So I did read through this kit earlier, and I read through Jiro's, and out of the two, personally, I think I lean towards Jiro just because of the way this works, but we'll read through it and I'll give you guys my honest thoughts. So the plus ultra move is called Stone Shower, deals 500% damage to all opponents with a low chance 20% of stunning them for 2 turns. So for anyone that does not know, if you have increased crit rate, your chance of stunning goes up. So instead of being a low chance to stun, it's now a medium chance to stun. So Uraraka, at least before she gets her enhancement, is all about crit rate. Okay, so she will actually be able to land a pretty decent stun on that AoE attack on enemies right there. So that could be actually pretty decent. And then increases character status ailment hit rate for 3 turns when character is not in a state of tranquility. So that's going to be even better, right? But then here comes the bad part, is that the enhancement effect I feel like is a debuff in a way, but we'll talk about it as we get through it. The enhancement bonus effects cancels 1 temporary buff of all opponents, and this skill gains piercing shot. Okay, so later on you'll see this, I'll just explain it now. The enhancement is going to give you tranquility, and in place of having critical hits, you're now going to have piercing shot. However, because you have tranquility and you're not able to land critical hits, that means your chance to actually stun people goes down. So that means your chance of landing status ailments goes down. So I don't know if it's the best thing. I almost prefer just, having the crits and having the chance to stun more, personally. Her action skill 1 is Home Run Comet, deals 325% damage to a single opponent with a low chance 25% of blocking their buffs for 2 turns. This skill gains the ability to penetrate if the opponent is hiding. She does have the ability to search as well when she's not in her enhancement state. I don't know how well that's going to play out either, because historically I have not been a big fan of search, because search makes you target the person that's hiding. I like being able to target who I want. So I don't know how I feel about this character. Enhancement bonus effects increase character skill impact by 25% for 5 turns. So that's a big skill impact increase when you get enhanced. And then once again, piercing shot. Action skill 2, Gravity Blow, deals 325% damage to a single opponent with a low chance 20% of stunning them for 1 turn. Once again, it could become a medium chance with a critical hit. However, it's only a 1-turn stun. That's not super great. You have to have speed advantage if you're going to actually make use of that 1-turn stun, and she doesn't really have anything in her kit that helps her with speed. So really not that great. The best thing here so far is her plus ultra, which she loses out on when she gets her enhancement eventually. This skill gains the ability to penetrate if the opponent is hiding. Enhancement bonus effects increase character skill impact by 25% for 5 turns, and then once again gives you piercing shot. Auto skill 1, Max Load Boost, gives character enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. After character initiates critical attacks 12 times. That's so easy to achieve, especially if you put a critical hit memory on her. Like, it's gonna happen so fast. And then after 5 turns pass from the start of battle. So like I complained about the other characters, right, being too hard to achieve their enhancement conditions. Uraraka is very easy to achieve her enhancement conditions, and that's almost a bad thing because it's like impossible not to achieve them. And like I said, I would prefer almost not to achieve them because I don't want the tranquility. I'm not a big fan of tranquility, but it is what it is. So basically at turn 5, just expect to go into your enhancement, right? Reduces damage to character. So additionally for this skill, to continue on, reduces damage to character by 5% for 5 turns when an ally, excluding character, receives cooldown time reduction. So this is actually a good thing to run cooldown time reduction on your team for this character, which is interesting. Increases character skill impact by 5% after character initiates critical attacks 1 time up to 5 times. So she'll be able to get more skill impact overall, and then by the time she gets her enhancement, she has an extra 25% skill impact just from her auto skill, right? So that's not bad. It's going to give her decent damage. One thing I will point out, I'm going to go back to this real quick. It says when an ally receives cooldown time reduction, she gets more damage reduction herself, but she doesn't do any cooldown time reduction. So she relies on allies or memories to do that. So she doesn't even do that on her own kit, which is kind of weird. After character initiates critical attacks 3 times, increases power of all allies by 5% for 7 turns. This buff cannot be cancelled or blocked. And restores HP of all allies by 10%. Enhancement bonus effects give character tranquility. There it is, okay? So this initiating critical attacks 3 times is, once again, should be fairly easy to accomplish, and then giving power to your allies and HP restoration to your allies is nice. It's not the biggest percentage, but it could be better than I think it is. But keep in mind, as soon as you get your enhancement, this goes away. This doesn't matter anymore because you can't land critical attacks. So you can no longer heal your allies. You can no longer give them extra power. It becomes completely useless. So yeah, enhancement. And then last but not least, Extraordinary Grit. Increases character's critical hit rate by 40%. gives character the ability to overwhelm when character is in a state of tranquility. So that's a good thing. Okay, it kind of makes up for the deficit, right? It's a really weird character. Gives character the ability to search for the enemy when character is not in a state of tranquility, right? So there it is. There's the search. You're always going to be searching, which is annoying. If character did not land critical attacks 2 times, gives character the ability to land bullseye for 2 turns. So basically, once you get tranquility, you're going to have piercing shot and bullseye on turn 5, and you're going to have overwhelm. Like, she becomes a lot harder hitter, but then she no longer has status elements, and she can no longer heal your team or buff your team. Okay, so you're trading out a lot of things, okay? And increases characters plus ultra effect by 5% for 5 turns. Enhancement bonus effect reduces the effective time of temporary status elements by 2 turns for all allies if character did not land 1 critical attack. This part I'm not the biggest fan of either. Reducing temporary status element time, like if it nullified status elements, sure, I'm here for it. I'm actually okay with the kit. But reducing effective temporary time of status elements, it's not that great. Okay, like cool, you reduced how long I'm burning for, awesome, doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe with frostbite it could come in handy, or would it eliminate frost? Does it count? Maybe against Getsin this could be good. I don't know, maybe a Getsin counter, but it's one of those things we'll have to see when we get the character in game. So it's just a lot of, like, it's weird. It's like you get 2 characters for 1. The first 5 turns you have a character that has search, who has critical hits, who has an AoE stun that can be really, really good, and she heals, gives power to your allies. She does all that stuff for the first 5 turns, right? Then after the first 5 turns you go into tranquility. You can no longer land crits, you can no longer heal your allies, you can no longer give your allies power. Okay, but what you trade out there is you get extra, you get overwhelm, you get piercing shot, and you get bullseye. So you just hit harder, but you can no longer land status elements or do any of that other stuff. So 2 different characters basically, depending on which turn you're on. So I don't know how the character is going to work out in game. So far looking at the kit, I'm not the biggest fan, but she could be really insane damage wise potentially in the future for after turn 5. So I could see her potentially being very good in the upcoming Club Festival. Typically they release characters for Club Festival, so she probably will be good for Club Festival. Outside of that, I don't know, we'll have to see. But let me know your guys' thoughts on her down in the comments. One of the most, I will say, interesting characters to come out in a while. Next up we have the Jiro banner slash event that is coming out. Okay, so this is the event memory. So we have lovely attire, increases character's defense by 20% when equipped by a strength type character, decreases defense of all opponents by 10% for 3 turns when used in character's successfully executed skill chain up to 3 times. That's actually pretty dang decent for an SR memory, right? An SR memory is going to give potentially up to 30% defense reduction. Okay, at least for 1 turn by the time you get to the end of 3 turns. And it also increases your own defense by 20%, but 30% defense reduction on all opponents, that can actually go hard. That can actually go really insane. So I don't think it's going to be one where we need to keep multiple copies, but I would at least try to get your 1 copy and then dupe it out and lock it up so you don't accidentally sell it, because I could see it being potentially useful at some point in the future, maybe even in Club Festival. I don't know. I don't know how a defense SR memory is going to work like this when it's only good for 3 turns, but maybe. Next up, we have the Swing That Towel SR memory. Makes character ecstatic for 2 turns when equipped by a UA high class 1A character up to 1 time. If you don't know what ecstatic does, let me backtrack here. It increases how fast your plus ultra gauge raises. Every 1 turn, increases character's power by 5% up to 5 times, and defense by 5% up to 5 times. Okay, so I mean, it's gonna give you some power and defense. And ecstatic at the beginning. It's a meh memory, honestly. It's not going to ever really be used, but the art looks cool. The art looks really cool. Then we have the new UR memory, Shredding Rock. Okay, man, I love the art, and I'm waiting for that Bakugo. This is actually one of those times where I'm okay with Bakugo being one of the characters come out, because it's always Bakugo and Deku, right? But I don't care about fantasy Bakugo. I want that Bakugo. I want this one right here, man. All right, so Shredding Rock increases character speed by 40% when equipped by a strength type character. Reduces character's cooldown time by 1 after character receives HP restoration 3 times. Up to 3 times. Increases plus ultra move skill impact of all allies by 30% when character has the ability to nullify status ailments. This could be potentially a very good memory. The fact that it has 40% speed, it has cooldown time reduction, and it has plus ultra move skill impact up, like those are all really good things. It has yet, we'll have to see, you know, it has yet to be seen, but I think it could potentially be a very decent memory. And then we have Jiro. I think earlier I might have said Jiro was a blue character. That's my bad if I said that. I meant Uraraka was blue and Jiro was red, but I apologize if I said that earlier in the video. I'm pretty sure I did. Nail the notes, Jiro. Okay, so let's take a look at her art really quickly. There she is. I kind of like the art, not kind of, I like the art for Jiro more than I like the art for the fantasy characters, I'm not going to lie. So once again, maybe I'm biased, maybe her kit really isn't better than Uraraka, but I'm, I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Who has the better kit out of the two? So Jiro's plus ultra move is called Heartbeat Blast. Deals 500% damage to all opponents. So once again, another AoE plus ultra. Reduces the effective temporary status ailment time by 3 turns for all allies and restores HP of all allies by 20%. Not the biggest fan of reducing temporary status ailment time. Once again, unless we're talking about like maybe reducing frostbite or frost or stuff like that potentially, but a lot of times it's going to be hard to actually make use of that if you have a status ailment on you because you are either frozen or confused or have something going on that's preventing you from using your skill. That's then going to let you reduce the status ailment time, right? So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of it. But this part right here I am a fan of. Restoring HP of all allies by 20% just on the plus ultra. That is nice. And you do a decent amount of damage to the opponents as well. It's not like 250% damage. So it's a lot of damage and a decent amount of healing. I think that's good. Ignoring the status ailment part, which is like her whole kit. Then we have the enhancement bonus effect. Increases temporary status ailment reduction by 2 turns. So you can reduce temporary status ailments by 5 turns. Basically, you'll just get rid of temporary status ailments in general for all allies when you use this if you are enhanced, which is kind of crazy, and increases skill impact of all allies by 25% for 3 turns. That is a pretty big buff to damage. 25% for 3 turns to all allies is actually insanely good. And then her action skill 1, Sound Booster, gives a single ally the ability to make a last stand 2 times and increases skill impact by 25% for 3 turns and defense by 20% for 3 turns. Those are some nice buffs to give to an ally. Only bad part is it's one ally, but if they did it for everybody, it'd be too OP. And then enhancement bonus effects increases skill impact of a single ally by 25% for 3 turns. That's another 25%. But look at this. If you're able to enhance her, that's 25% there, 25% there on skill impact up. That's a 50% skill impact increase. And then you have another 25% right here, right? That's a 75% skill impact increase. She can make one of your allies hit like a freight train. It's absolutely insane. And then action skill 2, Edge Sound, deals 350% damage to a single opponent, reduces the effective time of temporary status ailments by 2 turns for all allies. Right? Once again, I don't know how I feel about that. But then here's the good part. Regenerates HP by 30% for 2 turns. So continual HP regeneration is good. 30% is a lot. And increases power by 25% for 3 turns. I'm assuming this means for I assume this means for allies, right? It's worded kind of weirdly, but I hope if this is just for herself, it's Dookie, right? But you have to pay attention to the way it's worded, okay? I do have to point this out because I could be wrong, but I think it's for all allies. Reduces the effective time of temporary status ailments for 2 turns for all allies. Regenerates HP by 30% for 2 turns. That could just be for her, okay? I have to point that out, but I'm hoping it's for all allies. And increases power by 25% for 3 turns. I hope that's for all allies. It doesn't say outright, but I think just the way with the comma separating it and that being in the same sentence, it's implied that it's for all allies, but we'll have to see when we get her in game. If it's not for all allies, then I take it back, or Uraraka is better, right? But we'll see. Enhancement bonus effect increases temporary status ailment reduction by 1 turn for all allies, so from 2 turns to 3 turns. And then auto skill 1, volume control, gives character enhance when these 2 conditions are met at the end of a turn. So first condition, after 3 turns pass while character's hiding. Easy. And then after 5 turns pass from the start of battle, also easy. Okay, very easy conditions to meet. Increases defense of all allies by 20% and plus ultra gauge charge rate of all allies by 10%. That's insanely good. That's just period across the board, right? Defense by 20%, love that. Plus ultra gauge charge rate up by 10% permanently. Love that. Gives character the ability to hide for 2 turns after receiving 2 attacks. So this is what I find really cool. She's going to be able to draw and drop aggro, essentially, while supporting your team. That is really good. If you know other characters that do that, like Red Aizawa, right, you know how good that is. That is very, very good. So a character that can draw and drop aggro is going to be insane. So Jiro is really, really good. Enhancement bonus effects. Every 1 turn reduces the effective time of characters' temporary status elements by 1 turn. Don't really care that much about that, but it is what it is. And then Burning Heat is auto skill 2. Every 3 turns gives character the ability to nullify status elements for 1 turn. So that's good. So on plus ultra turns cannot be hit by status elements. Something to note. That is interesting. Gives all allies the ability to nullify status elements for 1 turn when there are 2 or more strength type characters on the team. That is good. So turn 1, this is what makes her so good. This is what puts her at like Fantasy Jiro at the top of like the tier list for a long time because she was the only character that can nullify status elements turn 1. Now we have another character that can do it, and it is this Jiro right here. Only condition is you have to have 2 or more strength characters on the team. Easy to obtain. So nullifying status elements on turn 1, there you go. Absolutely insane. Broken ability, as we know, really, really good. Increases defense of all allies by 20% when character is hiding. When used in a character's successfully executed skill chain, increases plus ultra gauge of all allies by 10%, and increases skill impact of all allies by 10% up to 3 times. So anytime you use her in a skill chain, you're getting plus ultra gauge for allies and extra skill impact for allies. And I already mentioned up above, you're getting 75% for 1 ally. Add another 10% onto that, and you're getting 85% skill impact increase, which is absolutely insane. And they're going to be getting their plus ultras pretty much all the time, as long, like every time that they should, even if enemies have plus ultra gauge down, because she's going to be able to give extra plus ultra gauge charge rate and extra plus ultra gauge to allies, which is going to be helpful. And then the enhancement bonus effects increases skill impact of all allies by 25% when characters hiding. There's another 25%. So what is that? 100 and technically we could give 1 character 110% extra skill impact at the end of the day. If you think about that. If you think about that, that's actually kind of insane. So Jiro is going to be an insane damage buffer / healer. She's going to be probably one of the best supports in the game, being that she can nullify status elements. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan of the reducing effective time of temporary status elements. That could be better than I think it is, but right now looking at it, I don't think it's going to be that great. But despite that, everything else looks very, very good in her kit. So out of the 2 personally, Uraraka or Jiro, I lean towards wanting Jiro because Jiro just seems like the more versatile character overall. I think she'll be used on more teams, being that she is a support character, but we'll just have to see. And then last but not least, before we take a look at the plus ultra animations for Uraraka and Jiro, there is going to be a new free-to-play memory coming out, I do believe. I don't know if it's going to be USJ or VE Tower. I don't think Hydro said explicitly. We'll probably see it here in a day anyways. But it's going to be the Public Safety Commission Hero memory. Increases character's power by 20% when equipped by an ABL type character. Decreases critical resist of all opponents by 10% for 3 turns if the character did not land 2 critical attacks. Increases character's defense by 10% for 3 turns after character initiates critical attacks 2 times. This memory right here, I'm telling you right now, looking at it, seems like it was tailor-made for Club Festival. So we'll have to see, but I think it could potentially be a big factor in the upcoming Club Festival and be a decent memory. So might be something you want to look into, and hopefully you have the points in the shop to be able to purchase it. All this information, including the videos that we're about to watch, are courtesy of Hydros Impact. He runs the My Hero Ultra Impact database website, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Check out his channel here on YouTube. Give him some love. All right, with that said, let's take a look at this animation. All right, so flying in, I like the animation so far. It's at least, you know, different. If they did the same animations as the fantasy or original fantasy characters, I'd just be disappointed. I felt like that was kind of similar to the, I mean, you can only do so much with their quirk, right? But okay, the flying in is good. The start of the animation is good. It's just where she drops the rocks. I'm like, it's okay. But this part's all good, right? And then she just does this. I don't know, maybe I'm just a hater, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not terrible overall, though. So that's Uraraka. Let me know what you think of her animation compared to Jiro's, which we're about to watch. Okay, here we go with Jiro's animation. All right, so Uraraka had a cooler fly-in, but yo, Jiro's playing the guitar. I think Jiro wins. Other than Jiro doesn't have a custom background, which kind of annoys me. But she does have the Okay, dude, no, they went too. Other than not having a custom background, they went hard with that at the end. Okay, that was sick. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was the outro for a second. That's just part of the Plus Ultra animation. Okay, that's a pretty good Plus Ultra animation. I'm not gonna lie. Dang, man. Yo, it's so good. Okay. Out of the two, I think it's a slight edge, but I think Jiro wins. I might just, once again, I'm probably biased against Uraraka, but let me know, out of the two characters, which kit are you more excited for? Are you more excited for Uraraka's, or are you more excited for Jiro's? And then out of the 2 Plus Ultra animations, which one was better, Jiro's or Uraraka's? And then once again, I want to remind you guys, both of these banners will technically be out at the same time and overlap. So if you think you want Jiro more, you don't have to pull for Uraraka right away. You could wait, but I just want to put that out there for you to consider. Of course, I will be pulling, so please help me out. Please support me by checking out that summon video. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. And thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I genuinely do appreciate every single one of you guys. Peace.